Hi, welcome to Brady's Blunders, where I share the mistakes in my games, hoping you don't make the same ones in yours. And this is a continuation of my first US Open game from the last Go Congress, and this series started in episode 69. So at the end of the last episode, I asked, where should black play now? But to give a little recap, as black, I've confined white to the upper right side, and he's not even completely alive yet. And white immediately created a second group in my area of influence, and so yet another target. But maybe it was necessary, because obviously if I get the whole right side, then white's got nothing to compare with it. So I totally understand why white played this way. But now the question is, okay, there's a weak group in my area of influence. How do I attack it? And for those of you who haven't given it much thought, go ahead and pause right now and give it a little bit of thought. How would you attack these stones? And I won't suggest pausing again, but there will be another problem or two. Okay, I actually thought about this for a few minutes. And, I had two options. One, I could try to secure the right-hand side, or the other is I could attack from the outside. And I actually decided that the first option was a little bit passive. Just taking territory is often a passive way to play Go. And I decided to think about it instead in strengths and weaknesses of groups. And I looked at it and I said, this group is small but strong, and this group is small but strong, and over here I'm quite strong. As a matter of fact, he's the weak one who's invading me. The weakest group I have on the board is right here. And white can't push and cut yet because this ladder is good for me. But if I was to do something and force this group to run, then who knows what's going to happen with that ladder. So I, in the end, decided that the best way to help this group was to go ahead and attack from the outside. And it's not a fatal decision or a game decider, but it actually made the game unnecessarily complex. So let me show you the continuation and sort of explain why my reasoning was wrong. So first I peeped to make white heavier, and then I played here. And I mean, this is what I saw in my mind's eye. I didn't know the continuation from here, but I know that if I was white in this situation, I wouldn't be terribly happy. So that's another reason I played this. Let's see, what did white do? He played Atari here, and then he pushed, and I extended, and then he pushed again. So this is the second question I would ask. If you were black, where would you play now? Okay. How many different moves did you consider? Because I considered two, and it turned out there was a really good reason to consider a third. And when you get these stones pushing along each other, it's a struggle to get ahead, right? Both black and white want to be in front, and then when you're in front, you really want to be able to hane. But I don't think this is a good move right here. So I looked at it and then thought, if white gets this, it's going to be too good. White is either, worst case scenario for white, is to be able to use it as a forcing move and gain additional moves on the outside. I mean, worst case scenario, he can Atari here and make a tiger's mouth here and get out. Right? So it already became useful. But it seems worse than that to me, because the odds that these two stones get captured are pretty high. After all, they're abutting a giant wall that's taking away their liberties. So this move is too good to allow. And once I decided that, without much thought, I played here. Take away that good move for the opponent. So my thinking with this move is, here I am still attacking white, and look how big my lower right is becoming. So I was quite happy with it. So this move is reaching out to the lower right. But what's interesting is I had another direction I could do, and I could go that way. And the reason this move is good is because it connects to these stones over here. And it's a good idea to connect to these stones, because then I don't have to worry about life and death with this group. And it's sort of possible that white may be able to get in over here, but it's not going to be easy for white, and not that dangerous, because after all, my corner is also strong at this point. At any rate, this move is fine. But now we get into the reason why my attack, I think, was wrong, the wrong direction. And the first is that it leaves the right side open for white to go ahead and invade. There's nothing I can do to stop it. And I played here to make sure that I had a base. And when black played here, I made a really bad move. And I pushed here. And I figured this was going to be sent there. I don't even know what I was thinking. I think I played it very quickly. And when white played here, I realized, oh, wow, it's all connected and there's nothing I can do. As a matter of fact, it's connected in table shape, so it's even a really good shape. And furthermore, if white gets more moves in the area, it's going to be I-shaped and take away my points. So I went and played here. And then when white defended here, I defended myself. And I think this is a necessary move. Now this group is completely alive. But the sad part is that it was necessary. I mean, what happens if I don't play that? Well, it's this aji here that really, really worries me, right? If I play somewhere else, white can play something like this and give me a dead eye shape. So yeah, I'm definitely not happy with it. So it might not be feasible for white to do this right now. After all, this also looks a little bit scary for white. But the point I'm making is that I've gone ahead and created complexity where I didn't need it. Right? I'm the one attacking him, and now I'm worried about the life and death of this group. That means it's a pretty poor attack. So let me rewind and show how I should have thought about the situation. So Eric Louis, when he saw this, said, oh, actually this is kind of easy. And he said, which of your groups can grow? And help, then just your attack should help that growth happen. Okay, so obviously this group isn't going to grow much. This group doesn't have much potential. And this group also doesn't. Matter of fact, if anything, it feels like it's going to shrink. So these three groups don't have potential. My only real area of potential is the right-hand side. And what that means is, if I can, then go ahead and grow it. And he went on to say that further, if you can grow it, and that means one of your other areas shrink, so what? It was a small area. If it shrinks, but you got more points out of the first move, then it's a good strategy. And the move he suggested was here, because once black plays here, white can't get inside at either of these 2 points. So black is connected and claiming a very large right side. And if black has to play submissively later and live with just a few points over here, so what? White's got nothing to compare with this right side. Another possible connection is just this, right? This is the obvious one that I think most of us would find, but it works. And even with my first move to make white heavy, this still works. Maybe not quite as well, but this is still feasible. And I'm claiming the points on the right-hand side and asking white, where are you going to run? So that's reason one why I should just take the right-hand side. But the second reason is that the continuation I chose, you remember the upper right-hand group came under pressure and had to live in gote. So if your attack is going to fizzle out in gote, that's probably not the best choice of attack, and it's worth finding a better way. Right. So one of the beauties of Go is that it's not easy, right? There aren't hard and fast rules that work every time. So I wish I could give you sort of a conclusion that in a situation like this, always take territory on the side. It's just not that easy. There are cases where the invader wants to be capped, and other cases where the invader wants to have the feet swept out from under him, giving you cash. And this turns out to be the latter case. And I kind of like the approach that Eric took of, where's your potential? Grow the area of your potential. Use your attack to grow the area of your potential. So if this group had been my potential, then great, the outside attack would have made a lot of sense. But in this case, my potential was over here, so go ahead and grow over here, and white's going to stay weak. If I just play like this, and even if I have to come out and help this weaker group, It's still good. I mean, I've got a few points up here. I didn't shrink that much, but now the right-hand side is almost mine. Right, so let's look at a problem for the next video. And so here's where we ended up. And then white played here, I played here, and then white played here. So the question is, now is black. Where would you play next? I'll see you next time, and we'll talk about the answer. See ya.